welcome back to another episode of Soul Speak, the podcast for teens. I am your host, Emily Miller, Teen Intuitive. All right, so we've had a little bit of a break here at Soul Speak, but now we're back. And I always kind of feel like the month of January is like a month of like rest and restoration and like almost hibernation. It's like there's a brand new year that's starting in January, but the energy doesn't feel brand new. It's like cold and dark. And we just had a huge ice storm here in Texas. And it's like everything's kind of meant to like rest and get a new, fresh energy for when the actual like new year starts. Whenever spring begins and everything starts to bloom and everything starts to become fresh. And I've also noticed a lot, well, in my own home first, the flu. Everybody's getting sick. Everybody's getting this really icky, body aching, fevery, throat, nose, like all the symptoms. Um, that's just knocking them out, like fully and completely laid up for days. I've noticed it with my family. Both of my children had it. My husband had it. I've had clients who have had it, had to reschedule because they had it. And then, so it's everywhere. Like it's in my children's school. There's, all these people who are missing because they're homesick. And it's just everywhere right now. And that is what happens when we get a very extreme sense of overwhelm within us. And so today, what I'm going to talk with you guys about is how we become a match for the flu, meaning that our creator field, our thoughts, our beliefs, our ways that we are acting in this world, all of these things are creating us to become a match for the flu. As a reminder, and I will tell you this over and over again because it is something that it's never going to hurt you to hear over and over again. And it actually helps us to be able to hear things over and over again so that we are creating new beliefs in our creator field. Because remember, it's those old beliefs that we've had programmed into us that are not our true selves that are creating the things in our lives that we don't like getting knocked out by the flu. So we create everything in our existence, literally everything, from the way that our hair curls to what our big toes look like to literally everything, the flu. So we are in control of that. And we create that by the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that we have about ourselves and the way that we act within this world. So knowing that and knowing that we create that gives us the ultimate power, the ultimate control within our lives to be able to create the things that we do want, to be able to make it a life where we don't have to get knocked out by the flu because we know that we can handle anything that's thrown our way. So remember, there's always an emotional root cause to every single thing in our existence. So we create it with our thoughts, feelings, and beliefs, which are our emotions and the way that we think and feel and believe about ourselves. And so that has the emotional root cause. So what are we thinking? What are we feeling? What are we believing about ourselves that is out of alignment with the source truth, with the higher self truth, with the way that we actually are, that creates this thing. So with the flu, you have gotten out of alignment. If you ever get the flu, if you ever get just like that icky, not even specifically the flu, but let's just even say like whenever COVID was a big thing, or there's different types of flu, or just like a cold. But anything that's going to like knock you out for a few days, keep you down, makes your energy just drained, right? So anytime that you are feeling that way, it's a sign from your higher self and source. They're letting you know you're super out of alignment. And the way that you're out of alignment is that you are feeling an extreme sense of overwhelm. I can't handle this. There's too much going on. Now, there can be that feeling in certain areas of life. It doesn't have to always be stemming from, every area of life. So let's say you're feeling super overwhelmed with your family. You aren't getting the things that you need from them. You can't handle it. You don't know how to do it. You feel this way within you, okay? So you're feeling, I can't handle it. I don't know what to do. I don't have the solutions. I can't do this. I have too much going on. And then let's say that that's also happening. You can have this in a few different areas of life where it's like big. And it's also happening with your mental, because you are feeling stressed because you have so much stuff going on at, let's say, school. And you have tests, and you have your extracurricular, you have practices, you have all these things going on, and your family's too much, and your school is too much, and your extracurricular stuff is too much, and you're having fights with your friends or whatever the things are. You've just got all these things that are piling up, up, up. And now you're feeling like you can't handle it. And you're feeling like, oh, this is too much. I don't know what to do with my parents. I can't study this much. I've got, this friend who keeps bugging me about this, and we're fighting all the time, and I can't. And so what happens is the body is reading your energetic body. Because remember, we have our physical body and our energetic body, and our energetic body is what picks up everything and transfers it into our physical body. So if we are feeling all of these things of I can't, it's too much, the body is going to like knock you out. You are going to be on the floor, like with the chills, with the flu. Hopefully you made it to the bed. But you're going to be like just feeling this profound sense of overwhelm of I can't handle this. And so then that transfers into the body, and the body kind of like just shuts down and forces you to lay down, to relax, to realize like, okay, all I've got to do is take care of myself for a little bit of time to recoup, to get my energy back, to be able to understand like, okay, I'm not dying, I'm not dead, I'm still here, like, okay, I'm breathing, I'm alive. And then you can like, your body can get that little second wind to be able to like pick back up and start restoring itself and start being like healthy again. So that's where the flu comes from, this big sense of overwhelm. And the first thing that I want to tell you about this flu situation, so if anybody is starting to feel like, a little under the weather, there are some things that you can do immediately to start to make yourself not a match to getting the flu. And there are a couple of like super simple things. So the first thing is, imagine if you actually were too overwhelmed, if you actually could not handle life, if all of these things were really and truly too much for you, what would happen? You would die. Dead, done, out of this world. I can't handle this world. There's too much going on. Your heart's going to stop. Everything, all of your systems are going to shut down fully and completely, and you'd be dead. So the first thing to realize is, if you're starting to get this like run down, overwhelmed feeling, I'm starting to get sick, I can tell. A lot of times it starts with the lips. The lips will start being like super chapped, and you can tell that there's just not enough moisture. You might get the little tickle in the nose. You might start getting a little headache. You might start getting just like those tiny little muscle aches in the body. And these are all the body's like first warning signs, because it seems like the flu kind of comes on pretty fast, but your body actually does first give you warning signs. And there's a million warning signs before this too that come in different forms of reflections. to let you know that you're having this feeling of you can't handle it, prior to actually getting the flu. So these are ones that are easy to notice in the body because we're pretty aware, most humans are, of like, okay, well, I'm starting to get really tired. I'm starting to get really run down. And these are like the little signs that come up at first. So if you first start feeling those signs of like, I can't handle this. There's too much going on with the aches, the pains, the headache, maybe the little drippy nose, those kinds of things, or a little tickle in the throat. These are things that you can say, okay, I'm starting to notice this. I see that, there's a lot of people around me getting sick, and I see how, they're getting affected by it. And so because remember, we can always tap into other people's emotions around us. Typically, our emotions are not our own unless we know how to shield ourselves properly from other people's emotions, which takes a little bit of effort and learning on your part. But it's totally 100% possible to completely shield yourself from other people's thoughts and feelings and emotions. But we tap into other people's emotions around us. And so if there's a lot of people around us that are getting the flu and we aren't keeping their emotions out of us, they're overwhelmed and their sense of I can't handle it, then we're going to tap into those emotions and get them too. So when you first start feeling these emotions, you can first say, I'll give you another one that's just brought up another really good tip of other people's emotions. So the first one is realizing, okay, I'm not dead. I'm still breathing. And what that means is I can handle this. I can find the solutions. I can figure out how to deal with the parents, the best friend, the schoolwork, all of these things. I can deal with all of this stuff. And because I'm alive, because I am breathing, that means that there is a solution. So you can start to first realize that, number one. Number two, you can also realize, okay, say to yourself, these thoughts are not my own. These feelings are not my own. Because whenever we have any feelings within us that are heavy, that don't feel good, that are not of our true self, they're 98% of the time emotions and feelings and thoughts that you're picking up on from other people. So you can sit here and say, these thoughts are not my own, these feelings are not my own, I've got this. And so that is a very quick, easy way to realize, okay, I'm tapping into other people's junk. I don't want their junk. It's not good for me. I know what's good for me. My energy is what's good for me, because we always want to keep our energy like super clean and free of other people's ick. Even if that person is like super high frequency, let's say even if you were to meet Jesus Christ himself and he popped up in front of you, you still want your very own energy. Your energy is the best energy for you. It was created for you. Now, I'm sure Jesus Christ would have some really great advice for you if you wanted to tap into his energy and ask for it. But to stay in your own energy is the best energy for you. Like always, you want to stay within your own stuff. So we can realize, okay, I'm good. I'm breathing. I'm alive. What that means is I can handle this. I can find a solution. And second, these feelings and these thoughts and these emotions are probably not even mine to begin with. So why do I need to have to worry about dealing with all this stuff whenever I know that I can handle this? I've got this. And then the third thing that I want for you to be able to do whenever you start getting this kind of like icky, heavy, drained, first signs of sickness feelings is that we want to change the way that we are thinking, because we've obviously been thinking in a way that created us to be a match to the flu, and we don't want that anymore. So what we need to then do is shift out of it, flip out of it. And so if we're sitting here and we've been thinking either on an subconscious or conscious level, we're sitting back here, we've got this program running in our heads of it's too much, and we maybe aren't thinking that. So the flu pops up, or this first signs of sickness are popping up, and we're like, okay, that means that automatically, that means that I am thinking and feeling, believing a way about myself that is not true. So if I'm getting the flu, these little signs of sickness, what would that mean? That would mean that I'm feeling overwhelmed. So what's the real truth of this? I'm not overwhelmed. I'm alive. These thoughts and feelings are not my own. And then what you want to do is say to yourself all the ways that you can handle this. Because we've just got this program running saying, I can't handle this. It's too much. So we want to flip it. How can we handle this? How can we deal with all of these things? What are some tools, some actions that I can take that show, okay, I can handle all this schoolwork. I can handle these practices. I can handle my friends. I can handle my parents. I've lived with my parents for, 15, 20 years, however long it is. And I know how I can, kind of weave and get my way so that situations can calm down with them. And I've had this best friend for, 5 years or whatever. And I know how they think. I know how they tick. And so I'm going to do, whatever your little thing is with this friend so that you don't have to keep fighting with them or whatever. And this homework over here, well, I know that Miss Smith, if I go talk to her and I tell her what's going on, she'll give me a little bit of extra time. All I got to do is ask. So there can be these like little situations that are feeling too much. And if you address each of them and say, okay, how can I make this something that's manageable? How can I fix this to make it so that I can take care of all of these things and not feel the overwhelm? There's, 100 different ways that you can do that by looking at each of these situations and each of these areas of life. Maybe go back to the Areas of Life podcast and say, okay, where am I feeling overwhelmed mentally? Well, you're feeling overwhelmed mentally, and I've already told you this one because you feel like it's too much. So flip your thoughts. Flip your thoughts into thinking, I've got this. How are all the ways that I have my life under control? Well, I've got a really cute outfit on today and my hair looks great. Even if it's something like that, that's perfect enough. I walked down the hall today and I smiled at so and so, and they smiled back at me, and I made them happy for 3 minutes, and I was smiling and they were smiling, so life was good. I've got it. I can do it. So there are just these little things that you can do whenever you start getting the inkling, the little signs that you're starting to get sick, to prove to yourself there's no need. I don't need to get sick. I don't need to have this big, huge event where I am down for the count for 5 days, because that's about how long I've been seeing that this icky flu is lasting for. And I'm calling it the flu because I think it's the flu. It seems like everybody's getting the same thing around, but there's just sort of a flood of this sickness around. And so those are the things that I have found super helpful for myself during this time of like sickness and ickiness, when everybody's kind of just getting overwhelmed, because it's the start of a brand new year and people are like, okay, well, I got to get myself together. I need to start exercising. I need to start doing these wellness practices. I need to eat better. I need to read, 70 books this year, and I need to da 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 da. They make these checklists of all these New Year's resolutions of things that they feel like, okay, well, I need to get all this stuff done this year. And so it gives you this sense of like, holy crap, look at all this stuff that I have to get done in this year's time. And then it also makes you reflect on the year prior. And I didn't read 70 books, and I didn't make 5 new friends, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do that. And so you get this like sense of overwhelm and heaviness on you that is just not necessary. Like, who said you need to read 70 books? Especially if you read 2 last year. Like, who cares? Find something that's nice and easy and fun. Like, oh, well, I want to start spending, 20 minutes more outside every day. That's no pressure. Just got to go sit and be out. I want to learn a new language. Well, we did that in our house. We installed Duolingo, and it takes 5 minutes every single day. Super easy. Like, you don't have to do these big, drastic changes every single year. You want to do things that feel good in your body and feel good in your energy, that feel like, okay, if I do this, then I know that I'm going to feel really good afterwards. And not just to say, like, oh, I did this. Oh, I bench pressed 250 pounds. Or I ran a marathon and you've never run before. Like, find things that are goals that are achievable, that are still a challenge for you. So instead of running the marathon, choose a 5K. That seems like a little more realistic. There's absolutely no reason why anybody should be stressing themselves out to create or do or achieve something that they don't feel like a true heart pull to. Like, if a marathon lights you up and you're like, oh, I have wanted to run a marathon my entire life and this year is going to be the year, and you think about it and head gets tingly and your heart feels open and ready to do all of these things, and you've got a really big plan that you're creating, and creating the plan makes you happy. If all of those things make you happy, do it. If they don't. Like, don't feel like just because there are people out there making these grand plans for 2026 that you have to do the plans that they're doing. Do the things that make you feel good. Do the things that make you feel light. Do the things that don't make you feel super overwhelmed. So think about that for your new year. And also remember, the new year doesn't actually start until, I can't remember the date of it, but it's like still a month away. Spring is the new year, when things start to come alive and bloom and all of that. Now is the time to like be making your plans. What do I want to do? What sounds fun to me? What sounds good for this new year? Do I just want to make one new friend and just start walking every day? Maybe I don't want to run. Who knows what your thing is? But do something that makes your body feel good, that doesn't make you feel overwhelmed, that gives you a sense of accomplishment and challenge, but not something that doesn't feel like heart-led. If it closes you off, if it makes you feel heavy, if it makes you feel like an unhealthy doubt in yourself, don't do it. Do things that sound good. Do things that feel good. Do things that you are led to do because you want to do them. And think about that for this new year. What is going to feel good? What am I going to be happy that I accomplished? And we will be back next week with a brand new episode, continuing on the body series. I think next week we are going to do a face situation. So maybe we'll talk about like acne, and maybe we'll even get into like the cause of wrinkles, so that you guys can get ahead of the game and not have to have any of the worry of having wrinkles later on in life. I'll give you some of the source truth information about that too. So that'll be fun. So we'll come back next week with acne and wrinkles. And in the meantime, think about some things that make you feel good, that don't make you feel overwhelmed, and understand that you are here, you are listening to this podcast, you are living, you are breathing, you've got this. And remind yourself of that over and over again. And remember to go to my website. I've got the link in the episode description, and sign up for the email list, because I'm going to start doing little webinars, free webinars with mini intuitive reads, and also introducing some energetic work for you guys, so that you can learn how to shield yourself from the thoughts and feelings and beliefs of other people that are not our own. So have a gorgeous, gorgeous week, and I will see you next week.